Good morning. My name is Allie D. Medeiros. I'm the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. The first thing I'm going to do is go around and make sure I can hear everyone and everyone hears me. We're already recording normally, Mike. You're not going to record until I read the introduction statement, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to start recording now. So good morning. Welcome to the Philadelphia Fair Housing Commission. My name is Allie D. Medeiros. I am the attorney for the Fair Housing Commissioners. Also present today from the Fair Housing Commission staff is Ms. Brenda Madeira. She's the case manager. And you also see Mr. Michael Fontaine. He runs our Zoom hearings for us. Before the hearing, I'm required to go over a few things with you. First, you are being recorded. We record all our hearings. By remaining on the line and participating in the hearing, you are consenting to be recorded. Our Zoom hearings have the same force and effect as if we were in person. The only difference is on Zoom, we do not have a court reporter. In the event either party wants to appeal a final order of this commission, you can reach out to me or the case manager, and we'll provide them with a copy of the video recording. Please be mindful of what you're saying and doing because it is being recorded. Second, at 9 o'clock this morning, the commissioners and myself, the attorney, met in a private executive session to discuss the day's cases. We do that on every hearing day with every case. Third, the parties had the opportunity to submit documents. I have the submitted documents saved on my computer and can share them with everyone on the screen. Please keep in mind that the commission generally only reviews the very basic documents in a case prior to a hearing. If you would like a document reviewed by the commission, please reference it by a name, date, or description so that I can post it on the screen for everyone to look at the same time. Lastly, during the course of today's hearing, it might be necessary for the commissioners to speak privately to make decisions in this matter. If they need to do that, they'll invite you to join separate rooms divided by party called breakout rooms. A prompt will come on your screen at the appropriate moment asking you if you would like to join a breakout room. We will direct you to click join when you see that prompt. Once in the breakout room, please remain in the room. We will never end a hearing when you are in a separate room. Please make sure you're back in this main room and that a commissioner or staff member dismisses you before you log off or hang up. Thank you very much for listening. With that, I am going to hand the case over to Ms. Madeira. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fair Housing Commission. This is the case of Michael New versus Louisa Gray. This is our first hearing. This is docket number 2024-05-24-17704. At this time, beginning with the tenant, I would ask you to please state your name and spell it clearly for the recording.
Yes, Michael New, Michael, last name New, New.
Thank you. Ms. Greg, would you please state your name and spell it for the recording? You have to unmute yourself, ma'am.
Louisa Grogray, Louisa Groguhe.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Downey, would you please put your name on our record?
Yes.
Can you just state your name for the recording?
David Downey, David, D-A-V-I-D, Downey, D-O-W-N-E-Y.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, I would like to swear in both landlord and tenant. Do you swear or affirm to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you. So as you know, you've already submitted documentations to this commission. We would ask you, please, that during the testimony process, if there is a document that you wish to be shown on the screen, you make mention of the title of said document or the date. When using a date, we would ask you to use a complete date, which would mean the month, the day, and the year. We will ask you not to interrupt each other as you proceed during this matter. We will definitely ask you not to use pronouns during your testimony. Please make mention of the complete name of the person you are referring to during your testimony. We will ask you not to interrupt the commissioners during the proceedings of this matter. At the end of the hearing, you will receive an order. You have the right to appeal the final order at the Court of Common Pleas. If you choose to do so, you'll need a copy of this recording that will be transcribed for that purpose. This case is not scheduled in a landlord-tenant court. Again, my name is Brenda Madeira, and the commissioners presiding over this matter today is Commissioner Bronson, Commissioner Sang, and Commissioner Bias. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being present at Fair Housing Commission. Because it is the tenant that filed the complaint, we are going to start with the tenant. I'm going to be asking some preliminary questions to establish jurisdiction and to get this streamlined. And then I will hand the matter over to Mr. Downey, who can then also ask questions. So let me first get started. These are questions for the tenant. So are we here regarding, I'm sorry, let's start over. Did you file your fair housing complaint on May 24th, 2024?
That is correct.
Thank you. And is this regarding the property at 4736 Bingham Street, Philadelphia, PA 19120?
Yes, it is.
And are you still currently there?
Yes, we are.
And when did you first move in?
Well, we moved in, Ms. Garugu, if I'm saying her name correctly, I hope I mean no disrespect. I'm not, don't want to sound rude by saying her last name. She bought the house in June of 23. We were there prior to an owner of Nancy Ramirez that were prior, when I met my wife and married her, I moved in with them. They were here prior roughly like 10 years.
Okay, so when was the first time you moved into the property?
That would be, let's see, we're in 25, so that would be 22 of November, if I'm correct on the exact month.
Which year?
22, year 2022, November.
Oh, 2022. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant November.
If I'm exact with the month,
2022.
roughly.
Okay. And one second. And were you there before 2022, or that's when you first moved in?
That's when I moved in. Of course, I was seeing my wife at the time before we were married, and coming and staying over night, weekends, so forth like that. And I was at my place in South Philadelphia at the time. Before that,
I see. So were you originally on the lease, or was it your wife?
when I moved in, I was placed on the lease with my mother-in-law, who's no longer here, and my father-in-law, who's no longer here, and my wife as being one of the people who live in the house also.
I see. So you were added to the lease in November 2022.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And what was your rent at the inception of the lease?
From the previous owner, you mean?
When you were first added onto the lease in November 2022.
Yes, it was $900 a month.
And what is it now?
Now with the new landlord, Ms. Guru, it was brought to $1,350 a month when we signed with her.
Okay. And when's the last time you paid rent in full?
We stopped paying rent in December of last year when I acquired my attorney.
Of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, great.
No, I'm sorry. No, 23. I apologize. 23.
Okay, yeah, I just want to clarify because
Sorry about that. Yeah, 23.
Okay. And at any point, did you receive a certificate of rental suitability?
From Ms. Guru, you mean?
At any point, did your wife receive a certificate of rental suitability?
Not from the new owner, no. We
Okay,
received
what
no
about from the
documentation.
previous owner?
My father-in-law may have that. I would have to contact him because he handled all the rent and everything.
Okay. And what about the Partners for Good Housing Handbook? Did any of the tenants receive that at any point?
To the previous owner, I cannot say because my father-in-law handled it. I can reach out to him and find out, but I'm not sure. But as far as the new landlord, new owner, no.
Okay. And what about any lead safe certificate? Have you received that?
I received that from the new owner. Yes, Ms. Kruger.
And when was that?
Not sure if I have that exact date here and with me. I apologize. I'm coming from a meeting prior early, so I only had so much with me. I can confirm and testify that I do have it. I just don't seem to have it here on my paperwork submitted, but she did provide it and have it make it take place.
And was that at the beginning of your lease in November 2022?
No, that was from Ms. Kruger when she acquired the house and became the new landlord.
I see. And roughly when was that?
I'm going to just take a while, I guess, because I don't seem to have it here with me, and I apologize for that. I'm going to say that came in. She took the house over in June of 23, so I'm going to say roughly about maybe 5 months after that, I received that certificate. They came, they did the inspection, and we received it.
I see. And then how long is the term of your lease?
It's for 2 years.
Okay. And so you had alleged some unfair rental practices. Can you please describe those?
Yes, there was no repairs done to the house at all, and I am sitting on the porch where if I need to show physical evidence, I can of the porch and the damages to that, and also to the main door. There is a small leak that runs from the outside of the back of the house, I'm being told, and it comes into the house. It's a very, very small leak, which I can only assume that is what's causing the water bill to be so extremely high, which she is responsible for. It's in her name and she has not paid. It's also been brought to our attention. There's a lien against the house also now. We've been notified by the water department on that end. I'm a private detective for Supreme Detective Agency, so part of my investigations of looking into this situation to present all my evidence here today, there's a rough estimate of $95,000 worth of work that needs to be done to this house to bring up the code. I do have a identification number from LNI for an investigation to be done. They have not come out and done it yet. I don't know if they're backed up. I do keep continuing to call to have them come and do it, but it's at their discretion. They won't send nobody right away. I don't know what's going on. I am trying to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, listen here, I'm just gonna back you up for a little bit here. So in terms of the repairs, what kind of repairs are we talking about? And then
There
on top
is-
of that, can you talk about when you reported those repair requests to the landlord?
I made the repairs available and to her knowledge, and when we first signed the lease and told her, also, prior to that, some taxes, when we first signed, I didn't even know if to do some of the work because I have background in maintenance tech. But that was at her discretion if she wanted to go that route, but she didn't. Also, I've talked to my attorney on that in general too. She did receive a letter from my attorney, never answered him.
So New, can you give me dates?
When I acquired my attorney in December. I'm gonna say
Okay.
December, the letter was probably sent out probably like December 27th,
With
roughly.
copies of those letters?
I have to get them from my attorney. I was having problems getting them. He's so tied up, I have not had a problem to get them.
Okay, so why don't you tell us what the repairs were?
The repairs were for the leak which runs from the back house to coming into the house. Also with the shower heads. Also the main here on the porch and the door frame, since the door cannot close. The other list of repairs that need to be done, which were not brought to my acknowledgement. I know that when you buy a house, you are required to get an inspector and know what is wrong with the house. I believe Ms. Gurguru has that list. I was not privy to that list because she bought the house. So I don't know the other main repairs in general with the
No, I'm only asking for what you know about and
Yeah.
the repairs that you brought to the landlord's
That
attention.
is the only ones that
Not
I
gonna speculate as to what could be out there.
Yeah, I can only testify to the porch and the leaks in general because I don't have the full list in general.
Okay, so those were the issues that you reported to the landlord, were the leaks in the porch?
That's correct.
Okay, and you reported them roughly in November and December of 2023?
That is correct.
Okay, great. And did the landlord do anything? Actually, you know what, let me back up. So you talked about the leaks. So you're talking about the leaks, and that was like the shower head, right? Those
Mhm.
leak issues.
Yes, and the porch, the damage
the
to the porch and
porch.
front door, yes.
Okay, and is water leaking into the porch or through the porch into the house?
Yes, if I can show for physical evidence, I can show you right now how it looks.
So we can't have that on the record. We need you to
Right.
explain.
Oh, okay, I understand. No, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's the door frame of the door. The door does not close away. The roof is has damage along with the wall that comes next to the door all the way down.
Okay, I see. And then did the landlord make the repairs?
No,
Okay. And then I'm also going to ask you, how much security deposit is and last month rent is the landlord currently holding?
there was no security deposit when the house was taken over. We just signed the lease and went into rent every month.
I see. And is the landlord currently holding any sort of like last month rent?
No. Our agreement with the landlord when we signed, we were going to work. She wanted 4,000 upfront for a security deposit, becoming a new owner, and we signed the lease. We were just coming out from burying my mother. We put $11,000 out, so our money was tight. So we agreed to pay an amount of like 2,000 a month and work it out for the months down. But as you see, we're here today because of the situations of stuff not being done right. So
I'm
now
sorry, I'm gonna back up a little bit because I don't really understand what you mean. So, why were you paying over the monthly rent?
because when we first signed with her, she wanted 4,000 for a security deposit, and we did not have it because we just buried my mother-in-law. We put $11,000 out between the family and everything. So we worked it out to where we would give 2,000 a month roughly for to build the security deposit for her, along with the rent to continue to keep staying here.
So how long did you pay $2,000 for?
Well, we never got to that point because these problems occurred. So we paid the first month of July, and then we went into let's see, July, then coming into September and October, and then the problems occurred, and then I started speaking with legal representation and stopped in December.
I see. So this happened before you were added to the lease.
No, I was on the lease. I'm the main signer on the lease with Ms. Gurguru.
So when you're talking about summer months like July, August,
She
were you
bought
talking
that.
about 2023?
Yes, 2023 when she bought the house. She bought the house in June. We spoke with her. She acquired us. She contacted us on the telephone, and we spoke and emailed everything over through the phone and email.
I see, okay. And was any sort of security deposit or last month rent paid to the previous landlord?
No, and that if I can just touch base on that with the and I just want to.
It's okay, we don't have to get into what happened with the
Oh.
previous landlord, I just need to
Oh, okay,
know
no problem. Yeah, no,
if
that's
you paid or not.
understandable.
Okay, and do any of the other commissioners have any questions at this point?
I don't.
Okay, and in your complaint, it also says that you received a notice to quit.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us about that, please.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Can you tell us about that, please?
I have that here. I received that notice dated February 21st, 2024.
So in your complaint, it says March 6th. Was there another one?
Sorry, March 6th. I don't,
It says March 6th, 2024.
I'm sorry, give me a moment. I have a lot of paperwork here. I apologize.
Is it the one that's currently on the Zoom screen?
No, that is the one from February of 2024 this year. That's
I see.
yeah.
And so there was another one after this?
No. I believe the one that you're speaking about is the one that was prior to that. I do recall what you are speaking about. I'm just, as I said, I have a lot of paperwork. I'm coming from another meeting, so I hope that I didn't forget that specifically, along with other stuff that I had. And if I did, I apologize. But I did
Okay, so I'm
receive.
gonna back up again. How many notice to quits have you received from this landlord?
I received 2 total. This one for the 21st and one prior to that. Which is the
Okay.
one I'm looking for, the one prior.
I see. So, okay.
I apologize. It's sometimes a little, I think it's going in and out where I'm at. So I apologize if you repeat yourself. I apologize for making you do that. I just want to make sure I hear everything.
Okay. And then, all right, so this is what you know. And then can you tell us about the retaliation?
For the notices or just in general?
So you have a retaliation claim. So my question is, why did you file for the retaliation claim?
I'm sorry. You were breaking up a little bit. You said retaliation
Sure.
claim.
So in your complaint, you alleged that the landlord retaliated against you. So can you tell us why you believe that the landlord retaliated against you?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So on, let me see what that date is. I had to go to the police station and file a complaint with the police. This police report unfortunately does not have the date on it. I apologize. I do have the police report here. I don't know why there's no date on it, but I do have a police report here. So this would be, I'm going to say, roughly in December of 23. Yeah, December 23. I just don't have the exact date, and I apologize for that because there's no date on the police report. Miss Goguro called my father-in-law when he was here and was going back and forth argument-wise with him, claiming that my mother-in-law never passed. We're not paying no rent at all. That she can't get a hold of me, which there's a ways to get a hold of me because you can call my father-in-law. She has my email, so there was an excuse. I did have a number change, but in December 2023, after this one happened, I already acquired my attorney, so I no longer had contact with her because I let my attorney handle everything. But during this phone call with my father-in-law, I was on the other phone with my wife on her phone, listening to everything. So going back and forth with my father-in-law about stuff with the rent and this and that. She started making threats about, well, you know, your wife or your mother-in-law didn't die, you are lying, and da da da. So she called up the person who sold her the house, the realtor, which has nothing to do with this property at all. And the realtor called my father-in-law on his phone and started making accusational threats. Well, I need to see payments for the rent and the Cash App proof that you paid the rent. And then she said, well, you didn't pay no rent. You're a bunch of squatters, you're lying, and blah, blah, blah. So I went to the police station and filed a report.
Okay, so can you explain why you think that the notice to vacate letter is retaliatory?
I'm sorry, that broke up a little bit when you were speaking at the end. When
Sure,
what?
why do you think the notice to vacate is retaliatory? Are you saying that it's retaliatory because you filed the police report?
I believe that that could be one way of saying it. Yes, that could be part of it. Also, in my eyes, and also from my knowledge and the way I'm speaking with some legal aid on stuff, by her not paying the water bill is a way of forced eviction, and also not making repairs to the house and so forth.
Okay, Mr. Downey, do you have any questions for the tenant?
I do. I have a few questions here,
Okay,
actually.
sure.
Mr. New, as you probably know now, I'm the attorney for your landlord.
Yes, I do.
I just want to go through a few things. I have in my hand, if you could pull up, Ms. Mandera, a copy of the complaint.
I'm sorry, you were saying pull up what?
Pull up a
There,
copy of the complaint. It'll be on the screen.
Yeah. So let me know when you can see that.
Yeah. Are you speaking of the one from the 21st of February?
No, it's the
complaint that you
complaint you
sent.
filed, sir. You'll see it.
Oh, yes. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Can you scroll to the bottom, please? Is that your signature, Mr. New?
Yes, it is.
All right, just above there, do you see where it says I declare under penalty of perjury that all the information I provide in this complaint is true, correct, and complete to the
I
best of
do.
my knowledge?
I do see that, yes.
Okay, can we scroll up a little bit back to where it says, I believe earlier it was your testimony that you never paid a security deposit. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. We never
All
put
right,
those
you see
deposit
number
up.
5, it says I paid a $12.50 as security deposit to the landlord at the inception of the lease.
I'm sorry, sir. I hear you, but I don't see yous.
Number 5 on the complaint.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying, sir. I just don't see the screen in general with your face or anybody.
So you have to, that's gonna be an issue on your end. You're gonna have, all you see is the complaint, which is up. He's asking you about number 5. Do you see number 5?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All I have is the word Zoom in front of me. I don't see any of this hearing going on right now. I can only hear you.
Okay.
Okay. And
Oh, I'm
then
sorry. I
earlier-
got you back. I apologize. I got you back.
Oh,
Okay. And then also number 7, earlier it was your testimony that you were unsure whether you or your uncle received the cert of rent suitability or partners of good housing. But there it is, number 7, that you were not provided.
Right. From your client, I was not provided. From the previous.
Earlier today, if earlier in your testimony that you were unsure and you apologized for not having the paperwork.
From the previous owner, not your client.
Okay. So right now, have you been provided a certificate of rent suitability or partners for good housing?
I received that email from the via mass email from you and the housing authority a few weeks ago, I believe it was. But I did receive the stability receipt yesterday from you from the email, if I'm correct on that.
Okay. And also, the water was placed in my client's name, correct?
That is correct.
And has the water been turned off?
No, it has not.
Okay. So are you able to explain to this commission why you said that you paid a security deposit? You didn't?
I never said I paid a security deposit. I said we agreed to pay the total of $2,000 every month to help build the security deposit. If you were listening when I'm speaking,
Okay. But on number 5, can you read number 5 to me?
I can read number 5, sir. But that's what the housing commission wrote on there. I did not write on that.
Okay, but you signed the bottom, right?
I signed the bottom.
Okay.
So-
Nothing further.
okay.
okay, do any of the commissioners have questions for the tenant? All right, so we're gonna move over to the landlord, and I just have some preliminary questions for the landlord. So first, do you have, when did you receive a rental license for this property?
The rental license was being worked on, and it took quite a bit of time to get to that part. So I want to say, and I'm looking at it now, it was received in November November of 2024.
Okay, and when did you provide or did you provide a copy of a certificate of rental suitability to the tenant?
I personally did not uh, contact him after what his wife had told me and did not send any paperwork or anything. I've been in communication with my lawyer and someone else prior to that.
Okay. Did you send the certificate of rental suitability through counsel, through your attorney?
I would assume that what took place, because you have this information in front of you, and the council would have sent it to Mr. New.
Ally, do we have a copy of the
No,
certificate
so
for?
I haven't received a CRS or lead from the landlord, so I would need those if they exist. We also need testimony on when and how they were delivered to the tenant.
I sent those things by email to Brenda Madera yesterday with a copy of our answer.
What
and
time
all
did you
exhibits.
send them?
Would have been probably mid-afternoon. 1 second here. I can
Okay.
re-forward it.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be resent because generally we try to get documents 10 days before the hearing date, so. Brenda,
Okay. It was at 2:18 p.m.
Okay.
yesterday.
Brenda, if you see that, can you forward it to me, please?
Yeah,
And
no problem.
I also have copies of phone records where there was direct communication between.
So I got the phone record. I don't see, is
Yeah,
that,
I don't see those docs from yesterday. Can we
Oh, no.
resend them? Can you resend them to me right now?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, we resent everything when we sent the diversion program application
okay,
again.
Yeah, Mr. Downey, you cannot testify, so we're gonna have to
I
wait for the
understand.
records.
I was just explaining what I was sending, and
Okay.
just, yeah, wait, no, those.
Excuse me.
Okay, we have the docs. We have the docs.
You forward them to me, Bren?
I did, I just did.
Okay. Refreshing.
Oh, thank goodness for modern technology.
I know. And then I'm gonna put them on the screen and we'll just get testimony from your client, Mr. Downey, on when they were delivered. If that's possible. Mhm. I'm not seeing it, Bren. Are you able? You're not able to share your screen, are you?
No, but I'll send them again. I'll send them right now.
Okay,
There you go.
yeah, I'll wait. Mr. Downey, do you have the ability to put them on the screen?
yeah, I think if I share my screen,
You should be able to, because I don't know if it's my email, I don't know what it is, but I presume I'll get them eventually, but
Let me
Cool.
try this.
I'm
Share
gonna forward them
screen.
to-
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so answer exhibits.
Oh, and of course,
You got them now, Ally?
yeah,
Okay.
So I can shut my screen down now?
you can. I'll take care of it from here.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like I got a certificate of rental suitability on the screen. If you could question your client about its delivery.
Well, this was one that I pulled yesterday before the hearing.
Okay,
So you know, I don't really have any questions on this. I mean, the date is evident. The document speaks for itself.
and what was it given to the tenant?
Ms. Gragu, do you recall at any point, and the answer could be yes or no, if a copy of a rent suitability was sent to Mr. New?
Did you hear the question?
I answered. I
Oh,
said,
Oh,
sorry.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry. I didn't hear your answer.
it's okay.
Could you answer again?
What's-
I apologize. I didn't hear either.
I said, no.
Okay. Could we go to the next, I believe it should be a text message chain,
I'm sorry. The no was to what question?
whether she recalled if the suitability cert was delivered.
Thank you.
She does not recall.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Gragu, could you keep scrolling? There's to the first one that has an arrow. There you go. Could you explain why the significance of this text message, please?
Okay,
Wally, are we able to blow this up a little bit more?
I'm gonna do my best, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not able to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. 1 second.
Thanks.
Not gonna be the right one on, but I'll get you the right one. Okay, on the
Great.
screen.
Perfect.
uh,
Thank you.
when I used to communicate with Mr. New, and try to try to set a way so it would be easy for him to pay the rent. He had mentioned there were some issues in terms of rodents, and I more or less asked him because he told me his background. He went around exterminating. So I asked him, can he bomb the house? And he said he will. So in this text, I said, hi, Mike. Thank you for this update, especially for the water meter. Since I was getting a bill that made no sense to me and also to the water company. So I asked them to tell me, if there was a leak in the house. And also there was a dog that would have changed the payment or the amount for the month, whether he had gotten rid of the dog or was he going to keep the dog. So in this text, the idea was for him to bomb it, and we were going to try it for 3 months, and we'll follow up. So he told me, that he would go on with the extermination of the rodents, roaches, and I assume, because I was not there, and that was that. But there was absolutely communication with him in terms of what was happening with the house, what was in the house, and if there was a need for anything. And I did ask him to let me know what the course was, so that way I could pay him for it. But this is where we are right now, because there was no actual follow up, except that he told me that he did it once.
Sorry, I got muted. Could you scroll down to the next red arrow text? There you go. And then, could you explain the significance, Ms. Grago?
Okay, I had, after some texting with Mr. New, he questioned whether I was, the owner of the house because the water bill was still under, Miss Jimenez's name. That was the previous owner. And I followed up with the, water company again. And they told me about the unusual amount of water that was being used in the house, um, and I explained that to Mr. New, and I felt somewhat vexed by the his reference in terms of me not being the owner and having to deal with me. And also, I felt that he was trying to not um, assume his responsibility in paying the right person at the time. So they did mention, like I stated, that there was a balance, and also asked me to ask the tenant or do it myself, which instead of doing myself, I asked him to check for water leaks, and like whether it was toilet, sink, shower, whatever it was, just to let me know. And he answered back saying that there was no leak, no toilet leak, no sink leak, nothing. And that was where we stopped in terms of leak in the house, or leaks in the
Did he
house.
ever, so he told you there were no leaks, said he'd get back to you. Did he ever get back to you?
No,
Okay.
not on this topic. Most of the communication were initiated by me. As a matter of fact, I could say all of the communication were initiated by me.
When was this text sent? What
Um,
month and year?
this one in September of
Oh,
2023.
of September 2020. Did you say 3 or 4?
23.
Okay. All right. And
By
then,
2024, there was no communication because I had spoken at one point. There was no rent coming in. The arrangement that I made with them, because I was aware by I was made aware by my realtor they had lost a member of the family, and so on and so forth. And taking that into consideration, because they were actually due to move when I bought the house. The process was taking so long for them to move. Even on the day of closing, they were still there. I made arrangement to keep them as tenants because I was under the impression that they were good tenants. And there was no need for them to move. And having gone through that experience that they were going through, I thought it was insensitive uh, to just ask them to pack up and leave. So the arrangement that was made with Mr. New, which he made reference to, was that he was going to pay rent and over time build his security. And once that once he started paying rent, he was unable to pay the entire amount. So it was suggested, let's do it in in payments, like throughout the month.
okay. Could you pull
That
up the,
part,
Ms.
that part.
Mandera, could you pull up the ledger? Because I want to give you something
Yeah,
to
I can
look.
pull up the ledger. We also don't have a copy of a lead safe certificate or a lead certificate. Do you guys have a lead certificate?
We can send it. We just didn't upload it because Mr. New confirmed that he did receive it.
Yes.
Sure, we
So
still,
it wasn't in question. I didn't want to
Sure.
muddy the waters.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
still want it, and also Mr. New was not exactly sure when he received it.
Okay, I have copies. I'll send it as a follow-up email.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Ledger's coming.
I also just want everybody to be mindful of the time because we have another hearing in 15 minutes.
Okay, I'll be very brief. So this is a copy of the ledger, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and both sides have made references to payments being made initially. That was about July 2023, and then sort of slowing down by the end of 2023. Is this a true and accurate depiction of the payment history in the ledger for this property?
Yes, this is accurate. He actually, on one of the correspondence by text, he said, let me test the $1. And I have all the receipt of the transaction that were made between Mr. New and myself. And this is
Okay.
exactly what it was.
So I see, if I'm looking at this, I'm seeing that there was an outstanding balance at the end of 2023 for 34,40,49.
Yes.
Is that correct? And
Yes.
then the total outstanding now with the 2024 where no rent was paid is 22,899, correct?
That's correct.
All right. At any point where did you receive a notification by escrow of rent being held in escrow for repairs from Mr. New?
No,
Okay. Did you ever receive a written list of repairs that needed to be completed by Mr. New?
no.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have any questions? Okay, so at this time, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to get a notice for a breakout room, so please click into that link and do not exit out of the Zoom. The commissioners are going to speak among ourselves, and then we will be back.
Cool, and we're recording. I believe we have everyone back. If you can hear me, can you nod, please, Mr. New and Mr. Downey? Okay, great. Mr. New, can you hear me? If you can nod. Cool. Ms. Grogray, can you hear me? Okay, everyone's nodding, Commissioner saying, I'm gonna go ahead and put the document up.
Thank you. Are we back on recording?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So we do have a follow-up question for the tenant. And once Ally puts up is it up? Oh, there it is. Did you receive this yesterday?
I received it by email.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So at this time, the commission will issue our verbal order, which will then be memorialized in a written order that will be sent to you. So first, we find that the CRS was delivered on February 3rd, 2025. And as such, all notices to vacate are invalid. So no rent is due until the CRS was delivered, which was yesterday. So rent started accruing since yesterday, February 3rd, 2025. And we're also finding no abatement and no retaliation. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay, at this time, we are adjourned and you may leave. Thank you so much for appearing.
Commissioners, I'm gonna